Well, good morning, superstars. You're the winners of the Benson Shum uh, demonstration. He's a Disney animator. We'll get into a full introduction here in a minute. I just want to welcome everybody that's on this morning already. Thank you so much. We've got Brandon and Quinn and Cy and Lincoln and Oliver, and I think we've got Cosette coming on. Hey, Cosette, good to have you. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to introduce myself so you know who I am. I'm Pat Burns. I'm the founder of the S.T.E.A.M Race to Space Reading Challenge. I'm also the co-founder of the Orange County Children's Book Festival, which is held annually at Orange Coast College. And I just got super excited about kids reading science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. I just thought it was a really important introduction to fun books that make you think about that. And so I'm just really glad that you all signed up and participated. So with that, I'm going to do a short video. It's like 2 minutes about, let me make this smaller first, about Benson that was produced by Disney. So hang on just a moment. And I've got to now go back to here, do share. You know, there's so many little steps you have to do, right? So here, and I'm going to share, make sure the sound's on, and here we go. Hit play.
Growing up, I've always actually wanted to be an animator. The first project I got to work on was Wreck-It Ralph. Animating Ralph is a challenge and rewarding, and trying to emote with these kind of brick-like brows. It's really fun when you get it just right. I think he really does come to life. This is where I always want to be as a kid. The amount of creativity, knowledge, and history at the studio is unbelievable. To be a part of this is a dream come true. The Artist Showcase gives Disney artists like me the opportunity to share our stories and create worlds through picture books. Holly's Day at the Pool is about a little hippo called Holly who has a fear of water. In the book, you'll see how Dottie, her little sister, helps Holly overcome her fear. My niece was a very big inspiration for Holly because, as adults, we sometimes forget how big the world is in the eyes of a child. I'm so excited to be sharing Holly's Day at the Pool with everybody. If you're scared of something, you should dive right in.
That was awesome. I hope you all liked it and get a little sneak peek of what we're doing here today and what Benson's going to be bringing. And so with that, Benson, I am going to, stop sharing first. There we go. I'm going to turn it over to you to talk to these kids and students. I want to make sure you think about questions to ask Benson. You know, I've got a few. If I could be allowed, I'd be
Of course.
This is really that for you all. So take it away, Benson. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Hey everyone, how you all doing? Good. So I wanted to, like Pat said, I want to keep this casual and more like a conversation. So if you do have a question, please do just either just kind of raise your hand or just shout out the question, because this is for you. And congratulations on all that you have achieved. And thank you for taking a session. So the video, just a little bit of video. So that was made when we were making Wreck-It Ralph 2. And I made Holly I started it back in 2017. 2015, and it came out in 2017. So it was like a long process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit about my journey on how I kind of started into how I got to Disney. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, you all can see this, yes? Yeah, okay. So this is me as a kid. And my photo, I have a little hair tough sticking out because I think I wasn't really prepared for take pictures. I was just out having fun during recess with my friends. So let me just see if I can- here we go. Okay, so growing up, I loved cartoons and drawing in general. So, like Looney Tunes was a big inspiration, and I loved comic books. Like comic books was actually what brought me to drawing and my love of reading because it combined both of my passions. And these are just some of the films that inspired me growing up. Little Mermaid was a really big one. I think I just love the fantastical element of things where you have the ocean, like fishes and the octopuses, and then you have the real life reality stuff. Cinderella was another big one for me for the storytelling of Disney and such. And of course, Jurassic Park, more fantasy, dinosaurs, and all that kind of stuff. So I went to school, 2 different schools actually. As you can see, as I talk about my journey, I didn't actually go directly from school all the way to Disney. I actually went in a zigzag and different routes. And I think that's actually really something to embrace too. So Capilano College was up in Canada. I'm from Vancouver, BC. I did 2D animation there. So a lot of the drawing side is what I learned. And then Sheridan is over on the East Coast of Canada. And from there, I did more of learn the computer side of animation. I'll just kind of skip through these really quickly. I worked on multiple studios before I got to Disney, actually, and I probably worked around 15 studios and multiple TV shows. So everything from video games to live action shows to feature animation. And I also got the opportunity, so art can actually bring you around the world. I moved all the way to London, England for 2 years to work on the 4th Harry Potter film, so the Goblet of Fire. So I got to do some visual effects in that, like I animated the snake and the Triwizard Tournament as well. And so everything from live action stuff to CG animated films. And eventually I landed at Disney, and I've been at Disney for about 10 years now. And I've been fortunate to have been on pretty much every new film that has come out through the studio since Wreck-It Ralph for there. And I'm just missing one of the posters from the latest one, which is Strange World. And from there, I got my love of drawing kind of came back because when I moved into the computer, for some reason, I stopped drawing. And seeing all the arts on the wall of the studio inspired me to kind of like go back to my roots. And these are just some of the paintings that I experimented with. One thing that I would encourage us all to do is also, I was so used to just drawing with pencils, and I've never painted before. I've never taken a painting official class growing up. So I actually went on YouTube, or I asked a lot of colleagues at work that were painters on, how did they approach painting? And these were done with acrylic and gouache. And it was just kind of playing with colors and just experimenting. Another medium that I really gravitated towards was watercolor and ink as well. And they're 2 very different mediums. So watercolor is in acrylic, it's all about the thicker pigment, right? It's more opaque. Whereas in watercolor, everything is translucent. So you have to do layers. So that was another type of medium that I tried, which I really fell in love with. And then how I got into books was that there's a program at the studio called the Walt Disney Artist Showcase. And from there, that's where they encourages us to kind of create our own stories and our own characters, which is kind of what you guys are going to be doing as well. And this is just the first few spreads that I shared with them to pitch my story. And like I said in the video, it's about the fear of water. So I was thinking about scenarios and why is she afraid of water and such. And eventually that book came out to be Holiday at the Pool. And then because I'm telling you, I have a love of like fantasy and dinosaurs, I created this other story called Anzu the Great Kaiju. And these are just some of the sketches. So today when I'm going to show you some rough sketches, we're going to do very rough, kind of much like this, and even like this, like they're just simple circles. And it's just so that, when you're drawing, everything doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, the less perfect it is, the better, because there's more life in your drawings where you have extra lines. Because eventually you're going to get to a stage where, once you have that rough drawing done, and then you're going to refine those lines, and then you get to something more like this. The left side is from the second book called Anzu the Great Listener, and that's with watercolor and everything digitized and done. And then the one on the right is from the first book, and this is the process before I scan all my paintings into the computer. And then these are the two title of the books. And then so the fun thing about art is that you can also move them. So this is a rough test again of animation that I did on Procreate. And it's of Anzu kind of waving at the camera and then blowing a flower to the screen. So you can see how it's like very rough and very scribbly. And for me, it's just to kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to get across before I go into more of a final line. And I thought, well, oh yeah, so then this is more the final version after I've kind of fleshed it all out more. And I thought, well, what would Anzu look like if he was full body and he's maybe chasing towards a bee? So I thought that was kind of fun to kind of explore, how does our character move now? And these are just some of the books I have out so far. Okay, so let's get into the drawing side. Is everyone gonna follow along, or should I just kind of talk about it and talk it through?
I'm open to your suggestions. How do you envision them talking along?
Well, I mean, sorry, like following along, drawing along, or is it more like me kind of giving like a?
Let's ask the students. Would you like to draw along, students? Or
Yeah.
just watch?
Draw along.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, get your pens and paper and pencils.
So
Yes.
while you're doing that, I'm gonna talk a bit about what we'll do. So I'm gonna show you how to analyze and look at photos and create your own characters out of those. Because most of the time, let's say on the Lion King, right, when they're designing Simba or Mufasa, they're actually looking at real animals on how they look like, how do they move, and trying to get those specific features that make them look like a lion or a tiger. So we're gonna break down to basic shapes, and then how do we reconstruct that into our own character. And before we start today, I'm going to show you how to draw. This is one of my characters, how I interpret it from a realistic tiger to something that's more cartoony. And then just let me know when you're ready. And then
I think they're ready. Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay, great. So I'm going to be facing this way because I'm drawing on a monitor here. Okay, so tigers come like, this is like obviously an older tiger. And then we can look at, cats that are younger and see the different features, right? You can see the cats have, the younger kids have a bigger head proportion wise to their bodies. And then the older ones, their heads are smaller, much like, human beings from babies to adults. And you can see all these different types of designs that came from those photos descriptions, right? The one on the left, we have like Shere Khan, right? Which is more realistic in a sense, even though it's caricatured. And then you have the one on the right, which I think is Pushin, I think is what you call that cat. But it's great because it's such a simple shape, right? And you can see that, it's still a cat. And then on the bottom left, we have Simba, who is, from the Lion King. And it's quite realistic, but still cartoony. And then on the bottom right, we have the character from Tom and Jerry. And that's just very, very caricatured, but you still know it's a cat. So there'll be certain similar qualities. And so then, so today we're gonna learn to draw this and how I got from those photos to this character, and also talk about the posing. How do you take that character and give them personality? And then from there, you can always expand to maybe a family. You have the mom, dad, or sibling or sister. And I also have a little gerbil things here as well. Okay, so let's go to the photos. So I'm going to talk a bit about how do we break down these to simple shapes. So I'm going to try this to do transparency. This part you don't have to follow along. You could if you want to on a separate piece of paper. But most of the times when we're drawing, you can pretty much create any character with these three simple shapes. It could just be a circle, a square, or a triangle. So you can pretty much draw any character. All the characters are based on these shapes. So if we were to analyze this I'm using Photoshop just so if you're not sure what software I'm using. So let's start with the head. So the head is usually a circle, right? And I usually do what we call a crosshatch to get the eye line. So you draw a line right where the eyes are. And then the nose, so where the nose in the center. So that way now you know kind of where the character is looking, right? Even if hasn't drawn anything yet, you know from just that circle and a few lines, you know where the direction of your character is looking. And then let's say we have the head for that. And then we have, let's say, triangles, let's say for the ears, right? So we can just do something simple as that. And then if you imagine this, the muzzle is kind of like a box shape. And you can see right where that nose is. The nose is closer down towards the bottom of the face. And it's almost like a triangular shape. So you can almost just fill that in. You can slowly already start to see that that's a cat shape. Yeah. And then these cats have really muscular necks, right? So it almost goes straight down from the head all the way down to the shoulder. So if you just take it from the side of the head and just draw it straight down, 2 lines down, like so. And then the chest is, I'd let you imagine them like a big oval or circle. So that you can just do just like that, like almost like an egg shape. So you're kind of like imagining also like a skeleton, right? The skeleton of the rib cage is like circular.
You can almost see it's really starting to look like it.
Yeah, so if I have to hide it, you can be like, okay, yeah, exactly. And then the hips, same thing. We're gonna do a circle for the hips because you want to keep it as simple as possible when you're doing these basic shapes first, and then you can add the muscles and the anatomy after the fact. And then of course you have the spine that connects it from the top to the bottom. So we can just do it as simple as connect it with 2 lines. So now the arms are a little bit more complicated. They have quite a few joints. So you can, so one thing really fun about drawing tigers is that you can see actually how the muscles fibers are going. If you watch the lines of the tiger, it kind of flows in like that. You can see the lines kind of flowing like that. So that's actually guiding you where the muscle shoulder is.
I didn't see that until you drew it.
Yeah, because it kind of goes up, pretty much folds into the center of the sternum of the chest, right? All these lines flow to the center like that. And then the arms, you can see, it's kind of hard to see here, but the grass is laying down flat. So we're going to draw a flat line there. And again, this line right here shows you where the fold of the arm is. Right? And then we go on the other side too. That shoulder pops out. And you can almost hide it behind that. So we're actually almost done for this to kind of break it down into simple shapes. Now let's just add the eyes. So the eyes are, you can just follow the shape, whether that's oval or it can be dots. And they have this fun little, it actually shows you where the eyebrows are with those beautiful lines on the top of the head, right there. And one thing that's cool about a cat's muzzle is that with a tiger, that nose ridge right from the nose, nostril, all the way to the top is quite big. It's almost like a triangular shape. And then just the final things are the whiskers. You can just kind of do a few, pull that down. And then,
you're using a brush tool, is that correct?
yes. So this one is a, if I have a pressure sensitivity tablet, so this is what I use. So the harder I press on it, the more thicker the lines are, and then the lighter I press, the thinner it gets.
So show it up again. So it's electron, or it goes onto the screen. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a stylus. Yeah. It's
Okay.
kind of like a Apple Pencil, kind of like that. But I
Okay.
use a Wacom. So yeah, I draw on the
Thank you.
screen. Sure. And one more thing for the muzzle. You watch the lines in the mouth. It's just another triangle shape, an angle like that.
You can really see how your square, triangle, and circle is everything. Then just
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah, yeah. So you can pretty much take this, then you can put it onto any animal, and you can actually draw that. I'm gonna move over to the left hand. On the right hand side, we're gonna do just the profile of the cat now. The same thing. How we're gonna break down to simple shapes. So let's start with a circle. For the skull. Yeah, think of it as if it's a skull. Because now we're going to draw that line where the eyes are directing. So it kind of goes up, just right where the eyes are like that. And we're going to draw that box again to represent the muzzle. So it seems like the top of the nose ridge is quite where the eyes are. So let's draw a line from where that is down. A box like that. Yeah, even I feel like the profile, you can really tell when it's a cat pretty quickly. And let's draw a triangle for the nose. Fill that in. And the fun thing was, so with a tiger, you know how when you look at our necks, you have the skull back here, and then the neck spine is actually further like around here, right? But in a tiger, because they're so muscular, that muscle is all the way to the very top of the head. So it's actually not down here, it's actually up here. So if you draw a line from there, from the very top, it feels more like it's more powerful. And yeah, she just finished that line for the shoulders, where that line is. Follow the lines of the tiger to dictate where that shoulder is.
When you're through, any students would like to show their work, we'd love to see it. But no pressure. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to see what you did. Because I can see kids are really doing this, Benson, and racing and fixing, and it's great to see you guys follow along. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, there are no wrongs when you're sketching. You know, it's all about doing it over and over again. Yes.
And not being self-critical, you know.
Yes, yes. Because I feel like you all know, artists, we are very self-critical. So you just need to embrace those mistakes.
Oh, get it closer, Lincoln. Closer to the camera. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it. Awesome. That's great. Okay, so we'll just finish off the ear. So the ears, it's we did a triangle earlier right here. Well, let's maybe kind of round it off in this ear. So it shows you different types of designs. It doesn't have to always be a sharp ear. And then let's just give it eyes as well. Just do that. So one thing that we can do really fun for this one that's a little different, we can give, let's say, our, you know how in this version we have the arcs of the eyebrows going up. So maybe we can make this tiger like angry or like frowning or something, right? And when we do that, I'll let you kind of, mimic the shape in my face, right? So if I'm like, angry, my brows are going pushing down towards my eyes. So maybe we could do that here. We can like push those lines, that brows, closer to the eyes. And now our character automatically looks like it's angry, right? Or if it's surprised, I could have raised the brows to be like really high up. Then it looks like it's surprised, right? Just a simple line of moving that brow up and down can dictate how this character is expressing. And then so these are the liberties that we can do with our characters when we're designing. I could give, let's say for the mouth, I can give it a smile, have it turn up, right? It's just like a U shape. Now it looks like it's smiling. Or I could do an upside down U, and then it could look like it's really, really sad. Well, this one looks more like huh? Like shocked kind of thing, like what's happening? And then let's add the whiskers as well. That always what makes it. Okay, so now that we've kind of like took a look at the older tigers, we're gonna do something a little quicker with this one, and then I can show you how to actually make them more cartoony. So let's use the kitten because they're just always so cute that we'll do a quick circle around the head. That almost takes up the whole face. And then let's draw a line. This one's kind of looking directly at us. And the difference between the kitten and the tiger, I'm just going to flip back and forth, is that you can see how big this muzzle is, right? And how long this distance is. But in cats and kittens, because they're smaller, the proportions of the face is different. And you can see in this one, the nose actually, the distance between here and here is a lot smaller. So let's do a triangle up here. And we can actually just draw a triangle like that. And if we want to make our characters like cuter or younger, we usually give them bigger eyes. So we can just do circular eyes like that. Or you can have them looking, I'll give you the option. Maybe the character is looking sideways. Just moving those pupils around and give them personality. And then their ears are so much bigger than the cat. The cat's ears here are relatively small compared to the nose and everything. But with the kitten, these ears are huge. So that automatically makes a character younger. And then to give our character even a younger feel, we can give them cheeks. right? So we can just kind of go from the side of the head, pull it out, and then just kind of round it up like that. And then we can give we'll give a little smile. Give it a smile, or you can follow the image where it's more like upside down triangle. And then the expressions on our kittens are usually, you can't really see them from the line textures. So we can just exaggerate by what we did before. Maybe we can give these kind of like arches up. So that'll give a personality. And you know how we talked about the musculature of the neck, muscles from the tigers, but because the kittens are younger, the neck actually comes closer towards the spine. So we can add these little lines to showcase the neck. And then a circle for the chest. You imagine it going all the way down. And then you can see the little shoulders popping out. And then to make the kitten even cuter, we're going to give him really, really long whiskers. So you should come through the nose. Okay, awesome. So taking all those tools that we just learned, how do we do that with? How do we change that or use those into something that is something like this? You know, I'm going to draw this, put this up this way, and shrink them down so you can see. So designing characters, you can either, you know, some characters maybe they might have clothes on or they might not have clothes on. So for example, like in let's say Zootopia, you know, our characters, they all have human clothing, right? As the character on the left here, or there could be something like the Lion King where they don't have clothes on and then the clothes are their fur. But today we'll focus on, let's say, the sky, just for, oops, just for simplicity's sake. Okay, so again, let's start with a circle, because you can see his face is almost, because it's kind of like a younger cat, right? So I kept the head a lot bigger. So I'm going to lightly draw a circle. And then the eyes are, if I imagine drawing a very light eyes, this is where the angle of is looking kind of almost 45 degrees up. So we do the same thing. I lightly draw a line. Say, okay, I want this character to be looking up. And then the middle, where that middle of the head is, where that nose goes, I'm going to do the same thing like this. And then do you see how that where this line hits is kind of where that nose is. So that gives you also a guideline. And in this one, I decided to kind of give our character nose more like a heart shape, something a little fun and different, because you know, if you're designing, it could be any shape. But it's close to almost like a triangle. Like I would do this is almost like a triangular shape. So I thought, okay, it'd be kind of fun. Let's just give it take that line down here and just give it like a heart shape.
Benson, does it matter which order you do it in?
Nope, you can do any orders. I usually tend to use the nose because that's kind of like an anchor. So if wherever I'm looking, I know where that angle is, and then I usually fill in the eyes after that.
Got it.
But that's a great question. And so now the bridge. Let's draw that muzzle. So in earlier, remember that muzzle here? This one. This one. See that muzzle here is kind of like a triangle that goes up this way. I thought, let's do something different. Let's reverse it. So instead of going this for the nose, which I can do that, it's up to you. I decided to go this way instead, to reverse it, just to make a little different. So just trying different shapes, right? And now I'm going to add the eyes. So with that line that we drew earlier, right? We're going to add the eyes on this side and on the other side. So I want to ask you, what kind of expression should we give our character? Because in the drawing I have, he's kind of like bright and happy. Should we draw our character like inquisitive or sad or angry? What are your thoughts on that?
Raise your hand, and if you want to give an input, and then unmute yourself. Okay, Lincoln, unmute. What kind of expression?
Silly.
Silly?
Silly.
Okay. I like that. Okay, so when we're doing silly, we are using it, we're using more than just our eyebrows. We're also going to use the mouth. So do you want, Lincoln, do you want to give like a silly expression on the camera? So maybe we can draw that. Awesome. Okay, so I love it. So I see that. So first your tongue stick out, right? So we're gonna do a tongue where, the tongue sticks out this way, and then also your eyes went cross. But because we're doing dots, I think that's okay. And then I think you had really kind of like almost like shapes like a U. Yeah, like that. Okay, so let's do the top eyebrows. Maybe something like. Oh, there we go. The eyebrows are kind of pushing towards the bridge, right? So we're going to do that. And then with the other side, let's do an arc like that. So it's not quite there yet, but we're going to have to add that expression, that tongue sticking out. So we're going to jump into the mouth. So maybe it's almost like an S shape. And we can do a big tongue like that.
Oh my gosh. Great suggestion, Lincoln.
Yeah, it's really fun. Okay, so once you do that, we're going to add the cheeks. We did the kittens to make them really cute. So you can see we did a little bump here for the cheeks on either side. So to give an angle, when you turn your face an angle, we add a little, I like to do a little sharp line, and then we're going to give a bump on the cheek on either side of the face. And then we already have the line already from the circle that we drew earlier as a guideline. So that already kind of, you have the top of your head already. And now we're going to add the ears. So for the ears, do you guys want really sharp ears or round ears that we have here? What are your thoughts on that? Anyone have any thoughts on that?
All right, Lincoln, go for it.
Round ears.
Round ears? Okay. So let's do big round ears. And then let's see what, okay, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to show you the differences. So it's big round ears, but you see how the design changes if I were to do really small ears. Right now, it almost kind of looks like a little, like a chipmunk, right? So how you can play with the proportions of the designs can really change who this character is. All right, so let's do that. And the ears, let's add a little hair. So I'm going to do a little scribble to give it it kind of indicates how hairy and furry it is. And tigers have those beautiful lines that go across their face. So on the real tiger photo, there's a lot of lines. So when we're designing, we want to kind of simplify our characters. So we're gonna do just like 3 lines that go along the cheeks. Okay, and then for the body, you know how we did earlier, we had a chest circle and then a hip circle, right? So we're gonna do the same thing. We can do lightly, we'll do a chest circle and then a hip circle. And then we're gonna connect those lines together. But our character has a little belly, this cute little belly. So I'd like to, instead of going straight down, we're gonna curve it out like that. And then if you look at it, it's almost like a jelly bean shape. And then we're gonna add the legs. So the legs, I like to imagine them as little marshmallows. And add little feet like that. Okay, and what about the arms? Should the arms, both arms be stretched out or have what we have one arm down or 2 arms kind of at their hips? What do you think? What should we do?
Sai, what do you think? What do you think? Arms up or down? Sai.
I think the arm should go up this time.
Okay, both arms goes up? Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
awesome. Thanks, Sai. Okay, so now we're gonna stretch the arms up. So let's do shapes like this. It comes up from the shoulders. And let's add some fingers. I'm gonna do little half circle arches for the fingers.
Mhm.
Right, and then to showcase the belly, I'll usually do a little oval egg shape to show where the front of the body is. So this is the front of the body. So and we need a tail. So the tail is kind of like an S shape. So we can start from, it could have a really long tail. Let's say we can start out here and just do a big S shape like that. Or we can do a smaller tail if we just go up to here. I'll leave that up to you. And I'll do another S shape. So now we have a thick tail. And now we have to add the little lines again, right? So on the arms, we'll simplify. Let's add a few of those kind of triangular shapes. I mean, those dark lines. You can either have it at the top or leave that up to you, or you can put it at the bottom. And then the same thing with the tail. We're going to add these kind of lines. So we're not going to add straight lines like that because you want to show the curvature of the tail. And then the last thing we're going to do is the whiskers. So we can give really long whiskers or very short whiskers. So up here we have very short whiskers. But let's say to make it a little different, let's add these big long whiskers. And then there we have our cat. So now you can take these principles and you can apply it to whether it's a dog or a bird or an elephant or a giraffe, like any of those, you can find basic square, triangle, or a circle shape, and you can break those down and create your own character. So I'm saying stop sharing. Awesome. So I hope you guys learned a lot from that and take those tools and you can, create your own.
So why don't we see if you're ready and you would like, we'd love to see what you drew and how it looked, and then we'll open it up for questions. So Quinn, why don't you show me? You were working on yours. Can you feel brave enough to show it? Can you unmute? There we go.
Know if you could see it well because it's on my iPad.
Okay. Can you put your iPad up to the lens or try that? Or look, back it up. Back.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, perfect. Yep.
Yeah. We started early. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
That's great, Quinn.
And Lily, would you like to show yours too?
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
That's great. That's really good. I love how you use the one, especially the one on the right, the kitten, has so much personality too. That's great.
Great.
Thank you.
And let's see. I think we ought to see Lincoln's because I know he's been working on. Lincoln, you have to get rid of your background, honey, because it's making you fuzzy. So get rid of your background. There you go. Now put it up there. Now you still got fuzzy. Oh, that's better though.
Yeah.
That's
better. Great.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for showing it. But now's the time to ask some questions. So raise your hand, Lincoln. Go ahead and unmute.
When you started out, what was your favorite film that you were in? Like, what was your favorite thing that you were a part of?
When I started out early on, I think my favorite was Walt Disney. I think Wreck-It Ralph was my favorite because it was my first film there. And then when it came to like live action movies, I think the Harry Potter film was one of my favorite because I was actually reading those books as I was working on the movie. So I thought that was really fun.
Cool.
Okay.
Another question? Mila, you've been kind of quiet.
Don't be shy. It's okay. I'll answer the best I can. Yeah.
How many movies have you worked on?
Oh, how many movies I've worked on? Okay, so I probably worked on maybe 15 or 16 movies. Yeah, 10 at Disney and then another 5 or 6 at other studios. Yeah.
Okay. Cosette?
Have you ever like almost finished a project and then instead of saving it, you deleted it?
Oh, yes. Accidentally, yeah. It'll be like I'll be working on something and all of a sudden maybe my computer crashes and I was like, oh, I forgot to save. And then the whole day's, work is gone.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah. So actually a friend of mine at work also has a sign that says save before, like save every like 10 minutes or something, because sometimes, as you know, when we're being creative, we forget to do all the technical stuff and we just keep working. We're like in it. So yeah.
Well, and it's the same thing when you're writing. Like, and I know Benson is also a children's book author. So he's not only an animator and illustrator, he's also an author. And my mantra when I'm writing is save often, save early.
Yes.
It really helps. Rosa. No, I'm sorry. It's not Rosa, though. Is that Brandon? Yeah, Brandon. What's your question?
Who is your favorite character to ever draw?
The favorite character to draw. Oh, there's so many. Okay, let's see. I think drawing Olaf and Baymax are pretty fun. I think because they're like very simple shapes, but you can get a lot of expression just from those shapes. Yeah, especially Baymax.
Sorry.
What's the most recent movie that you've completed with your animations?
Yeah, the most recent movie was Strange World. And so we finished that last August. And then right now, we are currently working on Wish, which is the next film that's coming out in Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, we're getting a sneak peek.
Yeah, just started animation on that last week.
Lily, do you have a question?
How do you like start like drawing if you like with just a picture? Do you just like start sketching it and stuff, or?
Yeah, so yeah, kind of like what we did today. So when I'm drawing example for the tiger or let's say the hippo, or like even a kaiju or a dinosaur, I would draw from the real reference, right? So let's say for the Anzu the Great Kaiju books, kaiju is like a little Godzilla. So I would actually draw a Godzilla over and over, and then I see, okay, that design, now how can I change that design to, let's say, make it cuter or make it bigger or smaller, like, and I start to play with the different shapes and proportions. So I always start with a reference.
Okay.
And Oliver, you've been quiet. Any questions? Maybe Oliver, you want to unmute and ask, or maybe there we go.
Oh, sorry.
Well, let me ask you a question, Oliver. What do you like to draw?
I like to draw like realistic things, and just like mess around on my sketchbook.
Oh, that's cool.
I'd be interested to know what all of you like to draw. So Quinn, you're on my screen next. What do you like to draw?
I just like to draw anything. Like when I'm bored, I just think of something and draw it.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. So using your imagination. Yeah, that's great.
Cosette, what about you? What do you like to draw?
I just make up my own characters and draw them.
Awesome.
And Brandon?
I really like drawing animals.
Lily?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I could tell, Brandon. Lily, what about you? What do you like to draw?
Sometimes I like to draw anime, like the cartoons and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mila, excuse me.
I like to draw a lot of anime.
All right. And Lincoln?
I like to draw illusions.
Say it again.
I like to draw illusions.
Oh,
Illusions. Cool.
that's cool. Sai, how about you?
I like to draw cartoons, and I also like to make up my own drawings while using the cartoons as references.
Nice.
Thanks for sharing.
That's great.
Benson, I'm interested to know what attracted you to Disney, and what was the hiring process like?
Yeah, so for Disney, what attracted me there was that I think I just love the idea that a drawing could, and even the motion of like a movement, a series of drawings can create so much emotion, right? And stories. So I think that what drew me to Disney, because when I watched Little Mermaid, I didn't know that people drew those pictures until I saw behind the scenes of it. And how I got there was that actually in California, we have a lot of animation conferences and workshops here actually. So there's a conference called Lightbox and C.T.N. Expo, and it's kind of like an animation conference that you can attend, where there's a lot of people that give workshops and lectures and just kind of learn more about the industry. It's very student embracing, you know, so a lot of students go there to kind of learn from people, meet other people. That's actually how I got to move to the US. Was I attended that conference in Burbank with a couple of friends of mine.
Say the name of it again.
Oh, it's called CTN Expo. CTN is a Creative Talent Network.
Oh.
So there's that expo, and there's another one called Lightbox, LIGHTBOX, Lightbox Expo, and that's in Pasadena.
And anybody can go to those?
Yeah. There's like a small fee. There's a fee that goes to it, but yeah, but it's open to the public to attend. I usually kind of table there, so if you ever do happen to go, and I'll have a table kind of talking about my books and selling stuff. And a lot of people are showing their artwork. So a lot of artists there are showcasing their stuff too. So that's kind of how I met a lot of people in the industry. Was I would just, I was very shy, and I'm still very shy sometimes, where, I don't know, oh, should I go up to talk to them? But everybody there is so friendly. So just go say hi, introduce yourself, and say what you like to do. And then just start up a conversation, and you can make friends that way too. Because everybody there is like you. Everybody there wants to draw and learn. So I think those are great places to kind of be. And from there, that's actually how I got hired at Disney, because Disney studios are actually there to recruiting or just to meet people. And I just kind of like showed my work when I went there. And they were happy to be hiring for Wreck-It Ralph at that time. So they gave me some tips on how I can improve my demo reel. So a month after I went home, or a couple of days after I went home to the conference, then I kind of fixed my stuff, and then I sent it in, applied online. And that's how I eventually got my way to Disney.
That's great. Karina, I'm so sorry you had trouble getting on. I'm glad you're here. We'll be sure
I woke up late. I'm so sorry.
We'll send you the link. It's okay.
Okay.
It's been a great session. And we've got about 2 minutes for another question. And yes, Lincoln.
Do you have any other books that you're doing?
Yes. So right now I am working on a book for 2024. In 2024, it's called Imagine You and Me. But this year, Anzu the Great Listener just came out last week, actually. So that's
Show the
my
cover.
latest
Do you
book.
have it nearby? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Give me 1 second.
Okay. So give me a thumbs up if you're liking this today. Yeah, me too. I think it's awesome. Yeah.
So this is the latest book. So that kaiju is kind of like a little Godzilla. And the really fun thing about this book, we also have some like fun bonsai facts. So bonsai is like a little miniature tree. And if you look in the back, in the back of the cover, we have this really cool poster that we did that goes, that's back all the way to the back.
That's great.
So with making books, sometimes you can have, usually this would be like completely like white. And we thought, oh, maybe this would be a fun thing, something different to do, to kind of give the reader something extra. So
put it up again. I want to see at the bottom where it says, written by, illustrated by, the cover.
Oh, the cover, yes.
You can show your book. So where's your name on that?
Right here, down here.
Okay. So it just has your name because you're both author and illustrator?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, when you see two names, it means that one of them is going to be written by someone else and illustrated by another person. Mm-hmm. But when you see one name on the cover, that means that that person did both the writing and the illustration.
All right. Lincoln, go ahead, put it up a little closer to the lens. Your picture, you want to show it again?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, good. Well, everybody, we want to be sure and thank. And first, I'll just say, Benson, thank you so much. I'm a big fan of yours, and I really am so grateful that you agreed to give your time for free and to congratulate these students that had a lot of choices to where they wanted their bonus tickets to go. So everyone here really wanted to be here. And I'm just very, very happy that we all had a chance to hear from you. And any closing comment, and we'll all say goodbye. And so unmute yourself. Get ready to say goodbye, everybody.
Well, I want to say thank you so much, Pat, for having me. And thank you all for attending and picking the session. And also congratulations on your reading challenge. I think that's so wonderful. And this is such a great program that Pat put together. So congratulations.
Yeah, I agree. All right, everybody, say, it's okay we call you Benson, or?
Yeah, Benson's fine, yeah.
Okay, everybody on 3, we're going to say thank you, Benson. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Benson.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your Martin Luther King holiday.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for the lesson.
Bye.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.